Good evening, dear Kuwait television viewers, and welcome to another new episode of our weekly program, The Week in 30 Minutes. The English News and Political Programs Department has prepared a variety of reports that highlights the main events that have recently taken place across Kuwait. Our committed team of reporters are constantly engaged in numerous events with the objective of keeping you, dear viewers, aware of the latest information, regulations, policies, and to be up to date with the local scene. Tonight's program includes a variety of reports such as the inauguration of the 15th legislative term of the National Assembly, followed by a special interview with a representative of the International Committee of the Red Cross, embassy celebrations and events that must be of interest to you. So please stay tuned for more to come to you this evening. His Highness the Emir Sheikh Sabah Al Ahmed Al Jaber Al Sabah called for further caution and vigilance against endeavors targeting the nation's unity. His Highness the Emir inaugurated the first regular session of the National Assembly's 15th legislative term, addressing the Parliament session. His Highness the Emir referred to the surrounding hazards, which he has repeatedly warned against, and the colossal challenges that hinder the efforts aiming to protect the nation and its security and stability, satisfy citizens and maintain their dignity, as well as securing a dignified future for them and the future generations. Our correspondent Hib Abdurrahman has more in the following report.
His Highness the Emir Sheikh Sabah Al Ahmed Al Jaber Al Sabah inaugurated today the first regular session of the National Assembly's 15th legislative term. Addressing the Parliament session, His Highness the Emir referred to the surrounding hazards, which he has repeatedly warned against, and the colossal challenges that hinder the efforts aiming to protect the nation and its security and stability, satisfy citizens and maintain their dignity, as well as securing a dignified future for them and for the future generations. His Highness the Emir said that it's worrying that the dangers have been escalating and the challenges are growing as brutal terrorism has found its way to the peaceful and safe nation, seeking to ignite addition and break the national unity. His Highness the Emir told the MPs that the Kuwaiti people have put their trust in them, urging the legislators to be eager not to break the trust and to raise the level of people's confidence. His Highness the Emir urged the MPs to hold Kuwait's interests above all other personal, family, sectoral, tribal and class considerations. Concluding his speech, His Highness the Emir emphasized confidence that Kuwait, which has overcome the hardships through history, will be able to counter all challenges and dangers with help of Allah and its loyal people. This comes as Marzouk Ali Al-Ghanem was elected as the Speaker of the National Assembly this morning. Member of Parliament Hamad Al-Harshani, who presided over the first session of the Parliament's 15th legislative term as the oldest legislator, said that Al-Ghanem received 48 votes as his two rivals Abdullah Al-Rumi and Shuaib Al-Muizri had 9 and 8 votes respectively. The election of the Speaker was conducted in line with Article 92 of the Kuwaiti Constitution and Article 28 of the National Assembly Bylaw, which both provide that the National Assembly elects at its first sitting and for the duration of its term a President and a Deputy President from amongst the members. Born in 1968, Al-Ghanem earned a BA in Mechanical Engineering and held the post of Mobian Petrochemicals Chairman. He was also a board member of the Egypt Kuwait Holding Company, the Building Materials Company, and Global Telecom. Elected MP in 2006, 2008, and 2009, and also in 2012, Al-Ghanem was Speaker of the 2013 Parliament. From the National Assembly, I am Hib Abdurrahman reporting for the Week in 30 Minutes.
Joining us tonight, we have a special guest of honor. He's the protection coordinator at the International Committee of the Red Cross here in Kuwait, Mr. Ralph Wahbi. Mr. Ralph, how are you?
I'm fine, thanks. Thanks, Yusuf.
We're very thankful for joining us on this show tonight. I'm sure our viewers have a lot of questions, so I'm going to start with a few if you don't mind.
Please go ahead.
All right. So about our first question was going to be, we would like to first know about your job at the ICRC, the International Committee for Red Cross, as a protection coordinator, and what does protection entail at the organization?
Okay. Well, thanks again, Yusuf, for having me here. A protection coordinator is usually in charge of the different humanitarian activities or protection activities conducted in a certain area of operations. So, but maybe it's important maybe to elaborate a little bit more on what protection means. Protection was mentioned first in the Geneva Conventions, and it's also mentioned in the statutes of the Red Cross and Red Crescent movement in the world. And it's definitely not about holding a weapon and protecting individuals. It's about more working with governments, with state actors, with parties involved in a certain conflict, in persuading them, in raising their awareness in order for them to respect their obligations mentioned in international laws, international humanitarian law, their obligations to respect and dignity and security of individuals in times of conflict. So this is in a nutshell maybe what I can mention.
Well, thank you for elaborating.
Thanks.
Viewers? All right, viewers, let's watch this report and we'll get back with more questions.
The International Committee of the Red Cross ICRC regional delegation for the GCC countries, in collaboration with the Ministry of Interior and Ministry of Health, the Protection Department at ICRC, organized a workshop entitled Healthcare in Detention.
Well, this workshop is the second edition of its kind. The first one was held in 2014, also in Kuwait. We are talking about health in detention, in places of detention, and we hope through this experience to exchange the experiences, to try as much as possible to find solutions for the problems that are seen in places of detention, and most particularly health in places of detention all around the GCC. In 2014, actually, it was very important to have this space for people to talk to each other, for people to exchange the experience, for people to look at the Kuwaiti experience, which is a leading experience, and it is not in any of the other countries in the Middle East. I'm not only talking about the GCC, which is the separation in terms of detention between health and detention itself. So the Ministry of Health is responsible for health in places of detention, and this is extremely important and might be difficult to put in practice, but Kuwait has shown that it's not impossible.
Well, it's all about the healthcare in detention. In other words, it's about focusing on the different challenges today that are being faced by all those working in detention facilities, be it prisons or police stations or deportation centers, etc. Usually there's a lot of focus on other issues related to health in the civilian life outside detention, but there is rarely you see and you hear about people focusing or discussing about healthcare as provided inside places of detention where individuals are deprived of their freedom. So the aim today is actually to put together all those working in this area for them to exchange experience, to exchange good practice, and then get to know and realize that they are not the only ones facing a certain challenge in their area, and develop good practice for the benefit of the humanitarian situation, after all, inside the detention facility. So that's in a nutshell, if I may say.
The workshop included a number of topics such as the medical documentation in detention, aftercare management in Kuwait, drug addiction management in Kuwait, the mental health and drug users in prison settings, the diseases in closed settings, and the diseases in detention and management. From Radisson Blue Hotel, I am Hib Abdulrahman reporting for the Week in 30 Minutes.
Welcome back, viewers. I hope you enjoyed the report. And now we'll get back to more questions with Mr. Ralph. Mr. Ralph, so our next question to you is, we would like to know that this is the second time that the International Committee of the Red Cross organizes such a workshop. Can you tell us a little bit more about the first one and what were the main objectives?
November 2014, we had our first regional GCC Regional Healthcare Detention Seminar. It is a little bit similar to what we've done this time. However, for this seminar, we are focusing more on health, purely health thematics inside detention places. In both, actually, we are trying to put professionals working in providing healthcare in detention places for them to exchange experience, to share best practice, for them to also realize when they listen to each other that they are not the only ones facing certain challenges in their area of responsibility. So in 2014, we had officers in charge of security inside place of detention and doctors present around the table. This time we have mostly doctors working in prisons. The most important thing is that as ICRC, we bring the international standards, we bring our experience and expertise in this field, and we put it on the table. It's definitely never a copy-paste experience because each context has its own specificities. So at the end of the day, it's important for this dynamics in any meeting for professionals to exchange, to learn from each other, and to develop best practices. And it's very important to have it in an area where we have a lot of similarities. You know, there are a lot of similarities between Qatar and Bahrain. It's the same from a social perspective. It's very close to each other, the countries. That's why we put together professionals coming from different countries. In 2014, we had Saudi Arabia, we have UAE participating, and Oman. This time we focused more on Qatar, Bahrain, and Kuwait, of course. This is where we have actually where we conduct detention visits in place of detention in those three countries.
Perfect. So I can understand from you, so the main purpose or objective of these activities are to raise awareness and be more informative with professionals.
Definitely so. Our aim is, at the end of the day, is to improve the conditions in place of detention. And in Kuwait, we work hand in hand with the Ministry of Interior and the penitentiary authorities. So at the end of the day, the aim is to improve all those conditions and to tend a hand and collaborate with those in charge of providing the healthcare services inside prisons for the benefit of the detainees in Kuwait and the GCC areas.
Perfect. Can you tell us about the activities of the International Committee of the Red Cross and the GCC in particular, please?
Yeah. If I can continue on the protection activities, and this detention visits is part of the protection activities. And seminars on healthcare are an example at one point on a list of activities we carry out in Kuwait specifically. We collaborate a lot with the penitentiary authorities, with the Ministry of Interior on the training of personnel working inside prisons, because as much as we expect them to do their job, we need to develop their skills. So here we are try to assist in this field. So this is in terms of detention. We visit then places of detention in Kuwait. We visit police stations. We try to provide travel documents for those who need travel documents to leave the country. Other protection activities we conduct in the GCC. We still participate in the meetings that are periodically taking place to try to locate the missing still from the difficult days 1990, 1991. We also have a lot of prevention activities where we work with academics, we work with universities, we work with the military in order to promote the basics of the international humanitarian law, because by raising awareness, you can also provide more protection for those in need.
Perfect, exactly. Mr. Ralph, do you have any thoughts or ideas that you would like to share with our audiences?
I think we've covered most of it. It's important for me again to express gratitude on behalf of my colleagues, on behalf of the International Committee of the Red Cross, to the State of Kuwait for hosting this event, and also for the great collaboration we have and we feel as an international organization. Thanks again, and thank you for hosting us.
Thank you. Well, we thank you for all your hard work and effort that you put in. It's very much appreciated.
Thank you.
As we come to the end of this valuable interview, we would like to thank Mr. Wahbi, Mr. Ralph Wahbi, of course, for joining us in the representing of the International Committee for Red Cross. We wish you all the best and success in your mission and future vision.
Thank you so much,
Thank you
Yusuf.
so
Thank you
much.
so much.
Thank you. Viewers, we'll be back after this report.